I'm only as successful as the artist I'm attached to. I used to DJ for 10 years. I'm trying to be the DJ that sells out venues, not the DJ that touring behind artists. I had to ask myself, who are the biggest DJs in the world? How is it that these people are selling out stadiums the same way Afrobeat artists are selling out stadiums? You know, that was why the dream was to be touring on my own name.
Yeah.
And not behind someone else. I was booked to headline. I also had a show with Tenny as well. For some reason, they just kept moving her set time back. At some point, my set time for the gig I was actually headlining had gone. Like after I was done with Tenny's show and everything, like the next day I was like, yo, I don't think I can do this anymore. Like, it became clear after maybe the third group therapy. In my head, I was like, no DJ producer has ever done anything like this from Nigeria. It's how accommodating it is as a genre that I love so much. I decided we can be better than this. We can have a scene. We can have an industry.
Aniko, a Nigerian DJ and founder of Group Therapy, a rave series that's quietly rewriting the rules of Nigerian nightlife. Known for her dynamic sets blending Afro house, deep house, and melodic techno, Aniko's Group Therapy uses the immersive power of electronic music to create a collective healing experience on the dance floor, offering a space where there are no tables, no tears, just dancing. What began as a Lagos staple has grown into an international vision, partnering with platforms like Boiler Room and Keep Hush to put Lagos on the global electronic map. DJ, curator, community architect.
Hi, I'm Aniko, and I just spoke my truth on Afrobeats Intelligence.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at Mattel. Be the standout Swift.
Afrobeats Intelligence, presented by OkayAfrica.
Democratizing African music with Joey Akan.
Yeah, hello Aniko.
Hi.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Second interview of 2026. Yeah, so shout out to you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
December was hectic for you.
I mean, it is for any entertainer.
And why yours is interesting is you have spearheaded the growth of electronic music and all its variants in Lagos. You've built communities that's usually crystallized by group therapy. That's your bi-monthly party, rave party. What do you call it?
I just call it rave, party, concert, whatever, man.
Well, and it's fun.
Yeah.
I think you've done well. I remember speaking with you in Amsterdam and you were just breaking it down, what your vision was. And I'm like, okay, this is someone that would succeed.
I mean, it's just about having dreams and, you know, like actualizing those dreams.
Yeah.
It's really, right now I'm just in a state of, wow, I can't believe this is where we are. Constantly, every day I get an email and I'm like, what? Like, so, you know, I take it day by day, you know, just easily. So, you know, nothing really gets to me or my head like that.
What was the first dream?
The first dream was being able to tour as a DJ on my own name. No backup or, you know, anything. Just I want Aniko in London. You know, so that was the first dream. And yeah, that was the first dream. Yeah.
And why was that dream important or significant for you?
Because I'd been DJing for so long.
How long now?
Now is maybe like 10 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. But for the first like 5-6 years, it was just rinse and repeat. Club, back home, school, club, back home, school. There wasn't really any drive. It was just like, yeah, I'm playing music for the club. It was just not fulfilling in a way.
Yeah.
And, I at some point, I was tired of the music I was playing. I was tired of, just the lack of creativity in the things I was doing. And, I was like, but I like DJing. I love music, And I had to ask myself, who are the biggest DJs in the world? Who are the biggest producers in the world? And, you Google that, you get electronic DJs, you get Calvin Harris, you get David Guetta, you get Skrillex, you get Fred again, you get Black Coffee, you get Shimza, you get a wide range of DJs. And you're asking yourself, how is it that these people are selling out stadiums the same way everyone, like Afrobeat artists, are selling out stadiums? They are DJs, they are producers, they are not singing. So I asked myself, like, really, I'm trying to be the DJ that sells out venues, not the DJ that, is touring behind artists. That was why the dream was to be touring on my own name.
Yeah.
And not behind someone else.
What was boring about doing the club route for you? What got to you about that entire system, rinse and repeat?
For example, I could get booked for a festival, and you can have 5 DJs, 10 DJs on the lineup, and everybody was playing the same thing. Everybody was playing the same songs. Everybody was playing the same hits. You go to the club, and the club is not really the place for experimenting, in the sense that even if I'm going to the club, I know I want to hear. I want to hear my proper Afrobeats on my piano. Give me what I need to hear. So, and that was what I was steadily feeding them. So that's what I mean by rinse and repeat. In terms of the music we're playing, there wasn't any diversity. And I've been privileged enough to, travel and experience nightlife in other cities. And you could go from one place where they're playing Afrobeats and you're crawling in one tunnel, you end up in a rave. And the fact that those two are able to coexist is, what made me feel like, okay, this might be boring because everywhere is the same. There's no diversity. Like, if I'm going to play at a festival, it's the same set that I would typically play at a club. It's the same set I would typically play at end of year parties, weddings. That's what I mean by there was no opportunity for you to showcase your skills as a DJ, Yeah.
Why isn't that, when people say the goal of to be a DJ was to play music, and yeah, you were playing music.
Yeah.
Why wasn't that enough?
Because I want to be the biggest DJ in the world.
Okay.
I want to stand out. I'm not here to play at the back of the club. I'm not here to be stuck behind artists. I want my own brand. I want my own name. So that's where the hunger comes from. It's not really about, I'm playing music. It's why am I playing music? Who am I playing music for? And where is it going to take me? It's in the why. It's also in like the feeling it gives you as well.
Yeah.
Like there's a difference between when you're booked to play like a boiler room, for example, than a regular party. Because boiler room, for example, is built on celebrating DJs and the culture of DJing and, things, the technicality of being a selector and picking music is what they spotlight. So it just depends on, the platform and, when there's no like diversity platforms, the creativity dies quickly.
So even beyond your desire to self-actualize in the way that you want to, like be the biggest DJ, tour with your name, have your own movement, impose your own creative will on the world. And there's also the technical part that says, hey, I want to do this in my way. And okay. And when you did that research and you came up with all these people, what stood out? What was consistent among all of them?
The one consistent thing, they were not in Nigeria.
Why is that? Oh my God. Why is that? Why was that such an important piece of information?
It was so important because we have really big DJs from Nigeria, but they are not considered on the same level as all those people. Like the people I used to look up to. I still to this day think, Consequence, Neptune, all these guys should be, selling out venues in the way the, house guys are. So that when I say the difference is, they have the infrastructure. They all, they all came up in industries where it had the infrastructure to accommodate house music, and we just didn't have that. We don't have that here, or maybe we're starting to, but we don't have that here. So that's why I say the one thing is that they are not in Nigeria. And in my head, I was like, no DJ or producer has ever done anything like this from Nigeria. We have the best. I think we have the best industry. I think we have the best managers.
Yeah.
We have the best labels. I think we have the best, So really, you just have to look at it from this point of why is there no infrastructure for something like this here? This is something that David Guetta would get in France, Skrillex would get in America. You get this in the UK. It's standard thing. It's standard everywhere else, except here. So that's the main difference. But also, they had their music. And their music has identity. Like, I can tell what, a Black Coffee track sounds like any day because I've listened to Black Coffee. And I'm not listening to him DJ, I'm listening to his music, the music he's producing. The difference between those guys and, the DJs here is they can drop a song all on their own, no features, no... I don't need anybody to, put vocals on it. It's just an instrumental. instrumental track, and it blows up because the talent is in the music you're producing.
Yeah.
And it's also in what you're exporting, what you're DJing, what you're playing to your people. Most of these guys play predominantly their own music. Only music they've produced, only music they've touched. So I just think that's the difference between the Skrillexes and the Calvin Harrises and the David Guettas and, the guys here. Like we have incredible DJs, but we don't have DJs that could just drop music based on, I'm just DJ. Most music is always accompanied by a feature.
Yeah.
Or, you just something to boost or get people interested. So yeah, that's just the difference.
Mm. And when you understood these, of course, they did inform the path you took.
Yeah. So I understood that most people were buying into the brand of those people in specifically. Or you're buying into the brand of black coffee.
So it wasn't just them buying into the skill and the feeling you gave them. They were skipping past that and building a more, I want to use the word parasocial. They've turned that into such a negative thing these days, but they were building a more parasocial brand connection with you, with the brand.
Yeah. So in terms of, I'll use my beginnings as an example.
Okay.
When I first started DJing, at some point I used to DJ for Tenny. So I used to be her official DJ. I used to tour. We used to do all the things, but everything I used to do was with Tenny, for example. And you start to get to a point where your success only goes as far as whoever you're associated with is going. So I'm only as successful as the artist I'm attached to. Whereas there's DJs and producers that don't need anybody and they can just stand on their own. People are buying into those DJs.
Yeah.
They're not buying into the fact that you have proximity to someone else. They're just buying into you.
What was the first thing you did along this path when you made all those realizations? What was the first step you took? Did you sever all your connections? Did you didn't say no Afrobeats?
No.
This bridge, it's gone. We're going. No. How did you? Was it gradual?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't gradual. It wasn't even it wasn't. I never really severed ties with Afrobeats.
How did you make the flip in your head?
In my head, I genuinely just thought, if you don't like it, it's fine. I had to program my brain that, house music is not for everybody. It cannot be for everybody. It can't even be for the majority, So I had to program my brain to say, Aniko, this is not for everybody. You can't force EDM on anybody. It's people that want to listen to EDM that will listen to EDM. And, while I was touring with Tenny and all that, we I used to do my own gigs,
Sets.
as well. I had my own shows, but they were all dependent on my schedule.
Yeah.
And there was a gig where
Where was this?
I was in Lagos here. Wasn't honestly right now when I think about it is a very inconsequential gig just generally, but I was booked to headline, and but I also had a show with Tenny as well, and everything was scheduled, like I had planned the whole day, like, okay, by this time I'm done, head to my gig, shut everything down. And I remember us getting to the venue for the tennis show. And for some reason they just kept moving her, like her set time back. And this is another issue separately, but I'm not sure why, but it boiled down to they had other artists, and they weren't really prioritizing female artists and all that thing at the time. So like they kept on pushing the sets, and at some point my set time for the gig I was actually headlining had gone.
No way.
So like after I was done with tennis show and everything, I just got to the car, and like it just started, like I threw a freaking trance. I'm just screaming like, what the fuck? Like the anger in me. The next day I was like, yo, I don't think I can do this anymore. Like, and she was so understanding. At the time, she was so understanding. Like, oh, I understand in every way.
Yeah, you shared exactly what you wanted to go to.
Yeah. Cause like I was her DJ, but like we were friends.
Okay.
So she understood. Like, I mean, trust me, I know, how this feels. And, we had a friendship that really wasn't, was like, for her, it was really, you're just playing music for me at my shows. It doesn't really matter how she can get someone in the snap of a finger to replace me. So it wasn't really a big deal. And she was like, yeah, I understand, how, you're feeling, how this might have, felt and everything. So the next day I called her like, I missed the show I headlined yesterday. I didn't bring it up during the show, but like the next day I was like, I have to be upfront, but like I missed the show yesterday and it did not feel good at all. Like I almost because I was just bawling all the way home. Like, and the show meant so much to me because it was one of the only house music events. There were only like one or two there, and they weren't really given the opportunity to. They weren't giving opportunities to DJs to just like, they weren't giving opportunity. You weren't really getting opportunities to play. So that one really hit hard for me, and it was just like a switch that, okay, I know what I want to do.
So that was ground zero for you.
Yeah, ground zero.
Well, when you started, did you know, was it evident or was it obvious to you then that you were going to shift culture, that the work you were doing was not just a personal journey? Or when did it become clear?
It became clear after maybe the third group therapy.
Okay.
And that was when February 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of became more evident when we switched venues to somewhere bigger.
Where was the previous venue?
Space Hub.
Okay.
Yeah, Space Hub. Space Hub. Yeah, so we switched venues to somewhere way bigger, and weren't really thinking like this place is massive. Like, how are we gonna fill this up? And that was our first sold out show.
Wow, for real?
Yeah.
So you didn't sell out the first two, and then you switched to a bigger one.
No, because the first two were having heat problems. The place was just too hot, so we're thinking let's find a bigger space. But the space we found was like bigger, like big, and we told the team like we just let's just go with the flow.
Yeah, roll our dice.
We roll our dice, man, and we go about it the same way we usually do all GTs. But this one, it was like I don't know, maybe people had just heard from somewhere, and the day of the event, the tickets sold out here. And we're like, oh, okay, like, cool. But then the gate was broken down, like the gates was broken down. The toilets were all like smashed up, like facilities, like it was overcrowded. So I was like, where did all these people, like, where are all these people coming from? I kept asking, like, you like house music? You like house music? Are we, the hell is good? I thought maybe, they got the wrong location and maybe something else was happening and they got the wrong location, but it was, no, we're here for this group therapy, and people were trying to drag me. We're here for this group therapy. How can you not sell enough tickets? I'm like, eh? So, I was like, this can't be serious. And at that first time, I was just like, this is just maybe a FOMO crazes. Next one will be fine. The next one was not fine. The next one was sold out a week before the event. The next one, 2 weeks before the event. So it became a hassle of how come all these, like we were genuinely asking ourselves, how come all these people are trying to come? Because when it started, it was just set a table, put the decks in the middle of the room, and
just play.
Just play. Really, really and truly, there's nothing special in the setup. It's just the table in the middle of the room. Get some sound, get some green lights. And the first three were just cute. We're just playing, and then February was a different whole thing, like, yeah.
What is special to you? What is special about house music and EDM? What is special about that class of music? Not the genre, that class.
It is the most accommodating.
When you say accommodating, how?
It's highly expansive. The reason I talk about house music so much, not necessarily EDM, but house music, is like if you look at the history of house music, how house music started, most clubs were filled with rich white finance guys. So where will the other people go? The black people, the Latinos, minorities, like where else can we go? You know? And it was built based on the foundation of, I don't know if you've heard about PLUR.
Yeah.
Peace, love, unity, and respect.
Yeah.
So it was built on the base on the foundation of, this is house music. This is homely music. It's welcoming. It's supposed to be welcoming. And the beauty of the genre is, and that's why I say I'm not I don't really sever ties with Afrobeats. Is the beauty of the genre is you can do so much with it. You can you can mix Afrobeats with house. You can mix hip hop with house. You can mix R&B with house. You can mix anything with house. Poetry, anything. Like, it's the most accommodating genre in terms of, how wide the sound can get. The sound is so vast. The range is insane. From, amapiano, 3-step. Every country, every region in the world has house music. And they have their own version of house music. In SA, it could be amapiano, comb, 3-step. Here I like to call Mara Cruise our house music. You go to Angola, it could be Kuduro. You go to London, it's drum and bass or UKG. You go to Brazil, it's Latin house. It's the most accommodating genre in terms of there's no region that does not have a community for this sound. I could be a huge DJ. Nobody might know me in Lagos. Or if, I'm in London or Chicago or Berlin, I'm there. And it's only in certain communities, So it's just, it's how accommodating it is as a genre that I love so much. That's the beauty of house music.
Nigeria, we've for a long time, both the mainstream have dabbled in house music.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a time even though we normally borrow it from South Africa, we usually do from South Africa.
Yeah.
But we've had that. We've had house like look at the money, Davido. This is the money. The banga. Yeah, we did all of that. So we've typically expressed that. But what you're doing, it feels countercultural.
How do you mean countercultural?
Here's what I mean. So when I started experiencing what you were doing with group therapy, it existed as an alternative. So people would say, initially in the early stages, people always said this instead of this instead of this. So it was, I don't want Afrobeats, I want house. I don't want Afrobeat, I want something. A lot of people were, I want something different.
Yeah.
Many people didn't know what they were looking for. They just knew they wanted an expansion of their sonic palette. So you don't think that energy sort of played a role?
I mean, it definitely did.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely did.
And then people were saying, and another set of people were also saying the clubs had become very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, the clubs, they were, in fact, the pricing was prohibitive. So you could not buy drinks. But that was not the mortal flaw. It was the fact that you could no longer dance.
Yeah.
So all those regularized third spaces, people could no longer dance. You could not enjoy music and move. But on this other side, that was the main feature.
Okay. I mean, yes, you go to a club and you're like, where is the dance floor? Where is the space? There's no space to dance in a club.
Yeah, but clubs are usually like show glasses now.
You said not me.
They're like music show glasses now.
Yeah, so like you go to a club and there's no dance floor as opposed to a rave and it's literally all dance floor.
Yeah.
Literally only space. Like I said, just a DJ in the middle of the room. All dance floor. And I get what you mean by it. It seemed very countercultural.
Yeah. Experientially countercultural.
Yeah, because it didn't really play into, what the industry would define as entertainment.
Yeah. Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Even today, even when I introduce some of my people to it, I'm like, yeah, let's go to a rave. They're like, what's a rave? I'm like, come, it's this really cool place. We play a different type of music. We go and they're like, und. I'm like, yeah. So yeah, it still has that energy. So
yeah, the difference.
Yeah.
It's like how we have no tables.
Yeah, that was an important one.
Till today, the people that call me before a group therapy, like, please, I need a table. Please, I need a table. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm scared to say, sorry, we don't have tables. Like, I am genuinely scared to say, because it's like, how do I tell this person, this, powerful people, celebrities, how do I tell this person
that it's a communion?
This is there's no VIP. There's no, there's just nothing. It's an environment where, like I said, it's not what the industry would deem entertaining, It's an environment where, there's what, it's even like, it's in the foundations of house music, for example. When you say it's welcoming, there's no classism. Yeah,
it collapses all of those social hierarchies into
elitism, all this. It just gets rid of, all those barriers. Once you're uncomfortable, there's no tables. Everyone is standing. We are all uncomfortable, whether you are the biggest person here or the smallest person is here. Everyone is still standing. There's no, there's no bottle service. There's no bottle service. There's no, that ginger that, if you're forcing people to connect, you're forcing people to dance, you're forcing people to, some people don't know what to do with themselves when they get to, a rave. They just don't know what to do with themselves. Some people just stand, some people just, get a drink and, just look around. Some people are like, just, wow, I can't believe this is happening in Lagos. So it forces people, and at some point when you look around, they're standing, and you look around and like, okay, people are dancing, and you're looking around, people are dancing, they don't care whether like who is around them, they are just dancing. They don't care. So you two, you get into it like everybody around me is just dancing. Why am I not dancing? So it forces people to talk. You know, like if I say there's no bottle service, if there's a guy, you know, like, you know, you want to talk to a girl, you're like, oh, let me send a drink to this. There's no sending of drinks. You have to walk up to her. Walk up to that person and be like, hi.
And go state your claim, man.
Yeah. So it's just it's a leveler. Someone told me, like, this thing is a leveler.
Yeah.
It really just levels everybody. And it, you know, it takes away from the fact that nothing else matters. It's just music.
I agree. So every time I show up, you never see me because I'm usually having too much fun, and you're having way too much fun. So I'm like, yay. And every time I show up from the door, I get in. No. And then people are usually very generous to me there. People are very generous to me at group therapy.
It's group therapy.
Yes, no, so there's just so much generosity. There's a guy, I don't know this person from anywhere. I don't know his name even. But anytime I'm in group therapy, he just grabs me, him and his friends. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, we're together now. And we do everything together. I do not know this person. And I've only met him at group therapies.
Yeah, because like I said,
and he goes, we get our drinks, we do everything, we hang, we have such a great night.
It forces people to connect. It forces people to talk. You know, the first time I went to a rave, I felt like I was in heaven. Like I was like, what? See, the emotions I was feeling. I was talking to people, and I'm an introvert. Mm-hmm. I don't like talking to people. I don't walk up to people to, you know, speak. But the first, you know, rave I went to, it was just, nobody was upset or fighting. Everybody was just talking with each other. People just, like, someone just, you need a drink, come with a bottle.
The egos were gone. There was no ego.
No ego.
Yeah.
Like there's
a lot of ego death during the rave. Yeah. I see that often. And I'm like, okay. Okay. And then, so when did you, like, on a personal level, you knew when you had gotten headwind? You know, from the bigger venue you got, you knew you had gotten headwind?
I mean, yeah, but also, I tell myself this all the time, that there was no direction for, you know, electronic music in the scene till, you know, I decided we can be better than this. Like, we can have a scene, we can have an industry. This industry can sustain itself and not need any external validation. So, my friend, like, when I started playing, I played with an intention of, like the way I was explaining genres.
Yeah.
Like when you go to the UK, you have UKG, you have drum and bass. There are genres established in the UK, or revolving around dance music. So I kind of realized that the problem was people can't really connect to the music. You know, like before I started playing house music, there were, you know, the element houses and the sweat it outs, but there was no connection to the people. And I started playing with the intent to, you know, intending to connect with people, I would tell myself the average person doesn't know what you're playing, so you have to lure them into it. That's when I started, playing more Afrobeat inspired house music. I like sometimes there'd be times where, I'd start my set with I start my set with some high life or some Fuji just to capture your attention, just to draw you because we're in Nigeria. We are in Africa. If you want to listen to house, it's Afro house, African electronic music. And we're not connecting before then. And I noticed the shift when, people started playing like me. And I was like, oh, okay. People are adapting. DJs are adapting. We are quietly and slowly forming our sound in a way that, now you don't need to lure people anymore. You can just play house music. You don't need to, trap them with Afrobeats per se.
People come voting and deciding to listen to house music.
They come and decide, I want to listen to house music.
Yeah. By buying a ticket, they make that vote.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. But when you say creating a scene, I think what underscores, I know, scenes are made up of multiple elements coming together to work together or work in a semblance of a way where there's a stability within the system. Mm-hmm. So that's why I say call it the ecosystem. Yeah. So with creating a scene, of course, you have the players. Mm-hmm. You have the unique contribution to culture that is providing, which is house and the community. You have the players, which is you, pioneer, spearheader, tip of the spear, And then, but more importantly, in all of this is for the economics of that scene to make sense. And, the sustainability of the scene, it's tied to the economics of it. Yeah. How did that scene self-sustain in terms of the economics of it? Because it was new, and usually new things in culture, they sort of like run out the gate before the money starts chasing after them.
Yeah. I used to be a regular I used to play regularly at Sweat It Out.
Okay.
You're familiar with Sweat It Out?
I know Sweat It Out now.
Okay, I used to play regularly at Sweat It Out. But at the same point where I was asking myself, what lens do I want to go to? I realized that most of these big DJs, like I said, have scenes that they have grown from. Like, before you became a big DJ, you're already a buzzing local DJ. You're already, like, in Lagos, in Nigeria, people already know you before you started exporting your talent out. And I saw that we didn't have any of that. EDM House used to be the stage for you to, it was the biggest house music stage. They started 10 years ago. They're like 10 years old now. So like the house music scene has been is like at least 10 years old. But we were at a point where there were only 2 parties you could play. And that's not a scene.
Yeah.
You can't sustain an industry from it. So a bunch of other people too, I started like telling guys the way group therapy started was we need more parties, we need more events, we need more platforms to play the music. Like before group therapy, there was like everything was maybe owned by a man or something, and I hate kissing ass. I don't do it actually. I just would rather not. So I was like, okay, let's just build this new platform. I had friends, and we did group therapy. Group therapy was just a small thing. It was just me and my guys, and it started blowing up, and then my friends would come and they'd be like, "Oh, we want to start a rave." I'm like, "Please do, because we don't have enough." And every single person that comes to me now, there's probably a rave every week.
Yeah.
Someone will come to me and they'll be like, "Oh, I want to start a rave." I'll say, "Please do, please do." I don't care if there's a rave every week, every hour, every second, but like for us to be able to sustain ourselves, there needs to be a platform, a scene of DJs, producers, it's singers, vocalists. It ties down to many people.
Yeah.
Before it used to be just a DJ economy. Now it's a producer economy.
Yeah.
Now we're, getting into house music vocalists. Now we're starting labels, house music labels in Nigeria. So I always just used to tell people, just start your own. It would be way more beneficial to us in the future, because by then we would have a scene, and a scene is I used to think like we have the people. If you go to the major music markets in the world, they have the best industries. They have markets for anything. R&B, the hip hop, the jazz. They have a market for anything.
Yeah, I call those matured markets.
Yeah. So, and my dream is for Lagos to be a matured market. I want Lagos to be a place where you can see Wizkid perform today.
Mm-hmm.
And then next show you're seeing is probably a Calvin Harris show.
Yeah.
And then maybe you're going from a Calvin Harris show to a Snoop Dogg show.
Or maybe a Fally Pupa show somewhere down the road.
I was in SA and they had a division concert. I was just like, wow, when will we get to a point where we can have a division concert? Like not someone is bringing division concert, Summer Walker concerts, like Rave concerts. That's like a mature music market. So my true dream is for Lagos to be a market that like we have the people, we have the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you look at the US, if Rihanna wants a big EDM tune, she knows who to go to. It's the same everywhere else. And it doesn't really need to be different here. Why is it different here? Why are we the outliers? We should have a major music market. And it's just a matter of having the infrastructure to back it up. So that's why I keep telling people, just start your own. Start it. It doesn't really matter what people think now, but it will be more relevant in the future when we have a scene that, I'm going from Kitranada to Burna Boy.
Yeah.
And it's fine. We should be able to have a music market where diverse taste is fine. We're not all listening to the same thing. And even if we're listening to the same thing, we still have diversity in our taste. You know, it just all boils down to having the infrastructure. So the scene for like the Nigerian electronic music scene now, we had to tell ourselves, for people to look at us and for this scene to develop, we need eyes on us.
Yeah.
And you now ask yourself, who are the eyes on right now? The eyes are on Black Coffee, the eyes are on Night Freak, Lala Tugzin. So you have to get those guys to come to your stage.
Yeah.
Because the eyes follow them. And from there, people realize, oh, Night Freak, if Night Freak is going to play in Lagos, there's house music in Lagos, you know, and it shines
a light.
Yeah, it shines a light
on the rest of the community, on the scene.
So the scene grows when we're more open to more, you know, international exposure.
Yeah.
And at some point, we probably would not need to fly in all these DJs, because we will probably be the ones being flown out to all those other countries. And, you know, it's just a thing of, who are the eyes on, how do you want your scene to grow? You have to bridge those gaps.
But when that journey flips the other way, because you've done Nyege.
Yeah.
We were together at ADE.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. We were together in Amsterdam, ADE. That was a core memory for me. And that was when I even said I was going to interview you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when I said I was going to interview you. I'm happy that we could do that 2 years after. And then you've done a number of others, not few.
Yeah.
You've done a number of others. You're in Kenya. Yeah, you've done a number of others. So in a way, at this point, you could say some of the things that made you start, you have done them.
Yeah.
And those things are currently your reality. You are Aniko. You are building a scene. You have your shows. You tour under your name. You've expanded you've torn down the ceiling, and you continue to, you have. You have. Let's cheers to that. Yeah, you've torn down the ceiling. You've developed, even though you used to call it counterculture, but you developed a very thriving counterculture in this part of the market. And not only that, you're building the bridges now, cross collaboration, cross pollination, connectivity up and down. And are you proud of yourself? Are you?
I mean, yes, I am.
Mm-hmm.
But I still have hunger.
What's a different type of hunger now? No, I mean a different type of hunger. You know, you achieved the basics of what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And now you discover that there's a lot more distance to go. That's what I mean. Like the hunger, it's still hunger, but it's a different type of hunger now.
Yeah.
Now it's consolidation. It is not starting, or you're consolidating what you have, what you're building. Compounding, as they call it.
I mean, yeah. I'm incredibly proud of like everything that has happened.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm still like there's still this hunger. Like if people are selling out the MSG, what am I doing?
Sure.
Come on, there's so much more to do, you know. And it's not that I'm not proud. I'm just like, when I achieve something, I'm just like, okay, what next?
But you've also done London.
Yeah.
Last year, group therapy. You guys held
No,
you.
that was insane. That one I was definitely blown away.
See.
Like it was sold out.
Wow.
I was just asking people, like, during the show. I just woke up to, I was like, how do you know us? how do you know us? Where are all these people coming from? Every time I ask myself, where are all these people coming from? How do you know me? It's a question I ask myself every time. And, you know, I try not to, I don't let it get to my head. I'm just a person of, how do I get better, man? How do I do better? I want to revolutionize the game. How do I do that? What's the next step? I don't really have time to, you know, revel in achievements.
Yeah. But once in a while, same here. But once in a while, it's nice to, because you know, the numbers on the scoreboard, they remind you that you're him. Especially in moments when you work in a creative space like this, and there's a lot of moving parts, and your situation flip-flops, whatever. 1 minute you have all your ducks in a row, the next minute something is happening, like, oh no, you're trying to put it. Yeah, that's how it works. Like, you might wake up in the morning and at 8 a.m. you're good. As at noon, 6, I'm good again.
Yesterday was so crazy because like I went through a whole roller coaster of emotions because like I'm working on an event right now. You know, I go off a call. I was arguing with vendors, like, you have to deliver this thing by so you know, there's a deadline. And then during the call, a booking request came in from Portugal. And I was like, the person I was shouting on the phone, like I had already stopped shouting because I was like, so like in the middle of the anger I was feeling, another one just like slapped me. I was like, is this joy or is this joy plus anger? So like
you have to learn to hold both at the same
you have
time.
to learn to, you know, balance everything, you know. So nothing really, you know, it doesn't shock me that much anymore, you know. But sometimes I'm still shocked, like, oh, what? So yeah.
Well, thank you so much for doing this, for agreeing to do this. I'm a big fan of you. I've always wanted to.
I mean, likewise.
Yeah, thank you. I've always wanted to talk to.
No, I remember I remember Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And I remember having the conversation with you, and I was like, that was actually a moment for me. So I was like, oh, Joey is so tapped into the culture.
I have to.
It made me like, wow, oh, Joey Akan knows you.
Yeah, of course. Yes. Yes, now. So a lot of people don't understand, but I'm like I'm a party person. I know I put the intellectualization in front and all, but once these things go off, I'm a party person. So yes, I party, and Aniko supplies me with one of the best strains of party in this world.
I mean,
yeah, so, and thank you so much for
thank
that.
you, man.
Appreciate
Thank
you.
you, man.
Appreciate you. And we're out.